Today, we're talking about Emily in Paris. That's right, Emily in Paris. Probably heard about it. I mean, it is the #1 Netflix show right now. Might I just say, this show is cringy as fuck, okay? If you don't know the plot, basically Emily, the main character, goes to Paris for a marketing job. She's a social media marketer from Chicago, living in Paris, giving some of her advice. And although I fucking love Emily, some of the things she says, I'm just like, I myself have ran multiple marketing strategies for brands. I have my own marketing agency and I've run this for like 4 years, and I've also done social media for like 10 years. So I just thought it was really interesting to see how this movie made marketing sound like. And honestly, I'm here just for the laughs and giggles, and honestly just to roast the show because I think it's just so fun to show you guys the myths and truths behind what marketing really looks like in the real world. All right, so with that being said, let's just dive in the fucking reaction. Just to catch you up on speed, Emily arrives in Paris. She doesn't speak any French, and the marketing agency is questioning her worth. So check this out.
Your company, or, if I may be so bold, our company, a brand in itself. But to build a brand, you must create meaningful social media engagement.
Facts. Facts. I like Emily in this part. She's getting it.
May I ask who's responsible for your social media here?
Patricia.
Makes sense. Anyway, it's not just about the number of followers. It's about content, trust, interest, and engagement.
Okay, honestly, I'm gonna give Emily credit. That is true. Followers don't necessarily equal to success for a brand campaign, and brands actually don't measure success via followers ever because they know it doesn't really equal to sales.
Excuse me, but the French are masters of social media.
True. But Americans invented it, which is why I hope to become a valuable member of your team by adding an American point of view to your fabulous French clients.
See, this confused me. This confused me. Like, I've been in marketing meetings where people ask me, what's my value, Jade? Like, what can you bring to the team? And I'm just like, I don't know. And I don't really know if I'd answer it like that, just because she's basically saying, I can add an American point of view to a French audience, which is not her. Like, if she said I could bring American customers to the French market, that makes sense. But if you don't know the French market, why would you be speaking upon it? So I have definitely been yelled at in meetings when clients ask me what I know about this market. And if I genuinely don't know or I'm not confident in the market, I'll just shut the fuck up. But anyways, this is Emily in Paris, so it's not real. Why does Emily only have 48 followers? I'm so confused. Like, if she's a marketing major and she's also running social media strategy for brands and she looks beautiful, not gonna lie, why does she only have 48 followers? Like, what? Like, none of the marketing managers that I know have no followers because they kind of do that for a living. So I'm kind of confused by that. I mean, at least give her 100. Brands definitely look at your own social media. If you don't have a strong following, or at least just something, it definitely limits you from the hiring process. Netflix, I would just increase it a little bit, make it a little bit more realistic. I mean, she's a beautiful girl. I definitely like her photos on the Explore page. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to the movie where the work characters start interacting with Emily and she starts really immersing herself in the French culture. And this part of the marketing world is really interesting because most of marketing is not about creating strategy on your own. It's working with different people, working with the head of product, the CEO, the strategist. There's so many moving parts. So I think this is the really interesting part in the movie where it actually is kind of realistic. Like, as much as I shit on this movie, this part makes sense to me.
I'm good.
Oh my god, I just want to say that, like, Emily rejecting smoking is like literally me. Like, I am Emily in Paris at this point. But no, I definitely feel her on that because there's so many moments where Emily kind of is newer to the French world. In France, maybe they smoke more and Emily doesn't. I don't smoke just because I have asthma, but I have nothing against smoking. But I've definitely been in meetings where clients or people in Europe especially give cigarettes and stuff or weed, and I'm just like, I don't do that. But it's really part of their culture. So that right there is very, very realistic, and I like that little detail in the movie.
Okay. We are all a little afraid of you.
What?
Maybe this is just from my friends that have lived in France. They tell me that Americans are just really loud and in your face. So the reason why French people are mean are not considered mean because they think that they're scary or a little bit like you.
Afraid of me? How?
Your ideas, they are more new. You live to work. We work to live.
Oh my god. Who is this character's name? Fucking love this guy. I find this a lot in at least American world of companies. Like everyone's here to grind and hustle. Like there's literally shoes, t-shirts, and stickers of people hustling and grinding, which I buy because I'm really into that. But in Paris, I definitely think it's a different lifestyle. When I was there, which I hate to like bring up, like I hate to say, oh my god, I was in Paris 2 years ago, but I was visiting a friend there and I remember that people take pride in having breaks and 3-hour lunches and taking walks. And there's just like the slower pace in Europe that I really do appreciate, because in America it's like grind, 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 and if you're not working 24/7 you're like a piece of shit. I like that. Work to live. Wait, no, live to work. Wait, no, work to live, not work to live. What? Let me try it one more time. Work to live, not live to work.
Yes, it's good to make money, but what you say is success, I say is punishment.
See, I like this dude.
I enjoy work and accomplishment. It makes me happy.
Does it? Or are you secretly trying to get busy to push away all of your feelings and emotions so you can focus on work? Maybe that's just me. Okay, let's move on to the next scene. So this is gonna be episode 2 where Emily starts getting popular. This is part of the movie where like I literally could not keep watching because like I watched Emily in Paris in 2 nights, right? But past episode 2, it was so hard for me to watch it just because I'm just, let me just show you.
Veuillez parler un peu plus lentement.
Did you just see that? This bitch gets 200 followers out of nowhere. She was at 48 last night. Okay, was this movie filmed in like 2017? Because the Instagram algorithm does not work that way. You saw the last post she did. She tagged Paris and a few hashtags, but at least in 2020, that's not how the Instagram algorithm works. Back in 2016 or 17, when the platform was new, you know, it was easier to get followers, but in 2020 right now, it's much more difficult. People have to share your posts, find free photos to like, and like DM to really start to engage with an account. But Emily just gained followers like that. Just like that. I wonder if she bought it, honestly. On this channel, I make tons of videos about how the Instagram algorithm works. So if you guys want to know more about how platforms and social media actually grow, you guys can check the links in the description box to watch those. Okay, in the span of 3 hours, she gains 1,000 followers. How? How is she getting followers? Okay, let me just backtrack this so you know what I'm not going crazy and then screaming for no reason. She posts 3 photos in the past 24 hours. First, it was a selfie. Then it was a picture of some chiseled abs. And then the third is this dog photo. Like in the Instagram algorithm, the only way to grow is through the explore page or through people sharing your content, okay? Unless the 40 people she initially started with sharing the content that she was in Paris, then maybe she could get to 240 followers. But I really doubt that, like all 40 of her friends doing that. So basically she got featured on the explore page, which is the main way content gets circulated on Instagram. And she got 1,000 followers like that, like in the span of 3 hours. No hashtags, no nothing. That is not how the Instagram algorithm works, but I'll just give her the benefit of the doubt that she's just a mastermind at social media. That's incredible, honestly. I just wish I could be her.
And you're not, because you've already got it, and you don't even know how you did it.
May I just say, Emily's fucking marketing firm she works at is gorgeous. Do marketing firms really look like that in Paris? Most marketing firms look like this. All right, so now we arrived to the part of the movie where the sexual tension was real. So Emily, being the flirtatious girl she is, runs into a client that works with her marketing agency, and she's explaining to the client her knowledge in the past campaign she's done. But obviously, the client really loves Emily and the way she looks, so there was some sexual tension. So check this out.
Why do you come to Paris?
Oh, to bring an American perspective on things from a marketing point of view.
And how do things look from that point of view?
I think you have an amazing, sexy product that could practically induce pregnancy in older women. I mean, it's part of the reason why I'm here.
Sorry.
Never mind. Sorry, it's a long story.
Please. I'm curious.
Well, I do think we can do much more on social. Last year at my company, we marketed a vaccine to help combat the chikungunya virus and saturated the web with such gorgeous content. We were actually responsible for increasing tourism in the Virgin Islands by 30%. If you Googled tropical beach vacation, paradise, or even topless beach selfies, you were directed to our product. Oh, and the best thing is we can track everything. Who views what, when, where, and for how long.
So what Emily is just talking about here is called SEO, or search engine optimization. She's saying that if you search up these certain words, we're the #1 search. And a lot of people do this, or brands that want to become first search on Google, this by creating content on blogs, articles. Typically social media doesn't really attribute to SEO because you have to put in text. And if you post a selfie, right, there's no text in it. So it's a little inaccurate in the sense of like, in order to drive SEO search, they would need to create a lot of blog articles and less social driven content. But now I'm boring you guys because this is getting really fucking niche. So I'm sure what happened is instead of creating blog article content to be the #1 search when people search a keyword, she created social media videos and content. So the next time people wanted to look that up, they were the first search. I think that's what she meant. Also a little confused because she talks really fast like me.
What is she saying?
Juliette from Marie Claire is waiting to talk to you. Please.
Interesting ideas. It's nice to meet you.
The way he looks at her, like, I'm not trying to spoil the TV show for you guys, but Emily gets with a lot of men. I think she gets with like more than 5 people, which is amazing. Honestly, go her. But her client is married. Some juicy shit. Let's keep going.
That in mind for our marketing materials. User experience is key.
Mm-hmm. And how do you experience it? What does it smell like to you?
Gardenia,
Mm-hmm.
leather, musk, and a little bit like sweat. Although that's probably...
Well, then you need to find yourself a nice French boyfriend. That's the best way to learn the language. In bed.
I have a boyfriend in Chicago. We're basically engaged to be engaged. He's coming here soon.
I'm not sure that's going to help with your French. I'm very happy to have an American on my team. We will learn from each other. Expensive sex.
Excuse me?
That's what it smells like to me.
Mr. Client, I don't know if I had to remind you, but you have a wife! You have a fucking wife! I'm getting too heated. Not to give my personal anecdotes, because I think that there is a big fine line in professional and personal blending in the workplace. I know that a lot of girls, or not just girls, but guys too, can feel sexually insulted by people like taking advantage of them in certain areas. So that actually does happen a lot. I've been to like a few marketing events and parties, and all the younger women will talk to like the older executives. I feel like a lot of older men that have maybe success and money, they kind of like to make these women in young careers feel like really excited and boosted and flattered them, but they just see them more as objects. And I'm not going to say this for all men, but one time I went to a marketing conference and this older dude was like 50 or something, and he was saying to me, hey, what are you doing here? And I was saying that I'm here because I have a marketing agency and I'm just trying to meet some people. And then he looks at me and he says, oh, I thought you were like doing this little model influencer thing. I don't think he meant it in a demeaning way, but I took it kind of personally, and I felt like he looked down on me and was like, oh, because I'm a girl and I was dressing up, that I was just a model and influencer and I didn't have anything going. I don't know, you definitely get treated differently based on the way you look and age, and it's just part of life, but these moments that are captured on the show are very realistic, I'd say.
Expensive sex.
Well, better than a cheap date.
I look forward to working with you. And to get to know you. Emily.
See, I can't tell if Emily's uncomfortable or liking it. If she's liking this man, good for her. But if she's not, she should be able to say, get the fuck out of my face, you know? Let's move on to a more lighthearted scene when Emily starts to get followers and goes to her first marketing influencer event. This is fun. This is some funny shit, actually. I fucking love it. Okay.
Well, you should follow him. He's Kashmir Good Boy on Instagram, and he just hit 100,000 followers. Thank you, my love. Do you have one for Kashmir?
But of course.
You know, he gets jealous.
Name.
Bonjour. I'm Emily in Paris, and I was invited on Instagram.
Everyone was.
Oh, can I get a big one like Kashmir?
Oh, let me check. Not enough followers.
This is actually real. This is called the influencer gap. People get treated differently by how many followers you have, and no one likes to admit it, but it's so true. I don't want to expose anyone, but when I went to VidCon last year and 2 years ago, this is a very, very similar situation I was in. There's these parties, okay? Like these after parties for influencers after these conferences, and you can only get in if you have literally over a certain million amount of followers, and I only had like 50,000 at the time. And I remembered, like, I just wanted to get in to the party. Like, my friends all were invited because they met that threshold, but I couldn't get in. So I remember crying in like Los Angeles because I couldn't get into this party. So I was just eating ice cream alone with my friend on the street. And that was 2018 for me in a nutshell.
We expect a minimum of 5 posts. Where is your tiny reach? Make it 10.
That's a roast. I love that though. It's kind of funny. Okay, guys, so we've been reacting to this for a bit, and I think I just want to say before I pivot too much, so don't get me wrong, Emily in Paris is a cringy show. It just is. Anyone in marketing can second to that, okay? But I do think there's so many important themes in this show that is incredible. Like, I love the fact that they, in the beginning of the show, touched on the work to live mentality, which is showcasing that other cultures embrace stillness, checking in with yourself, mental health, caring about yourself. And sometimes in America culture, I feel like we can get lost in the hustle culture. So I love that they touched on those themes, and especially with feminism and sexism, like they are great tie-ins in the show. Like obviously with Emily encountering a man, older man for work and feeling a little bit uncomfortable sometimes is something really important to address an issue. I really like Emily's character and what she stands for. I think she's the perfect embodiment of a girl learning about herself, figuring out what's the meaning of working all the time and sticking up for her rights and herself. And I really think she's a really respectable character, and I love how she's portrayed on the show. And with much controversy, and I know I roasted the show for like 20 minutes straight, I think everyone should watch Emily in Paris. It's a great rom-com, funny relief. If you're in marketing too, you're gonna definitely have a laugh and cringe. And I think it's just such an important show to watch, just because I haven't seen Netflix produce shows that were outside the high school, college rom-com world. Like, can we just admit this? Like, every fucking Netflix series is about some high school teen love. And I love the fact that there's something a bit more mature and older about this character already, you know, establishing her career, finding herself again, which I really love and I think is super relevant. I have never made any of these reaction videos, so if you guys enjoyed this video, please give this video a like, and shout out to the comment winner. Shout out to the comment winner. Comment on this post to be featured in the next episode. Every week I pick a comment winner, so if you want to be the next comment winner, just comment below your thoughts of the show. Have you personally seen Emily in Paris, and what are your thoughts? I give the show a 10 out of 10. It's just hilarious, and I want to date all the men she's dated because they're beautiful. All right, guys, I love you guys so much. I'll see you guys in the next one, and peace. Oh, okay. So with that, I forgot something really, really important. So right now in the US, if you are in the US, right, and you don't have to have a marketing agency for this, I think it's so important to have shows with a mission. Just like how Emily in Paris has many themes that are important to culture, I want to make sure this video has important messages to you. So my friends at Up To Us created an easy way for you to check if your voting requirements are solid. So right now in the US, it's so important to use your voice and register to vote. And if you don't know if you're registered to vote, you can click the link in my description box to check your voting registration. It literally takes 30 seconds. I did it this morning, all ready to go, and then I'm gonna get my ballots mailed so I can vote this year for the first time, which is super exciting. So I just really wanted to end off this video with a call to action, which is vote, okay? Check the link in my bio to go to Up To Us, and you can check it out for 30 seconds. Check your voting registration and use your voice this year. All right, guys, bye.